Virginia. Mud Dog Esports is on.
Well, we are live. What is up, everybody, and welcome into the first official Mud Dogs live stream. We are so excited to have you. My name is Matt Jacobs, and I'm joined today. Above me, I have Britton Kennedy. Up to my right, I have Brendan Beeman, and to my immediate right, I do have. Wow, apparently I was muted in Discord, so they couldn't hear me talking. Let's get this going again. What is up, everybody? My name is Matt Jacobs, and I am excited to get to welcome you guys to the very first Mud Dog Esports Podcast. And today we're excited to show you a little bit about what goes on here at Mud Dog Esports and the operations and the future of this. Today I have the opportunity of being joined by directly above me, Britton Kennedy. To my upper right, Brendan Beeman. And then immediately to my right, I have Brett Mann. And we're going to go ahead and get started off. I don't think there's any better way to start off a podcast. The first one, right, it's the unveiling of the Mud Dogs podcast. No better way to get started than with an introduction. Brendan. Brendan is muted.
I should fix it.
There he is.
That works. Yeah.
Hey.
So hey everybody, my name's Brendan. I'm the head of Valorant for Mud Dogs. I'm currently a marketing and sales campaign manager in Florida, and I'm excited to see how this journey continues to improve, as the Valorant team is the newest addition to Mud Dogs, but we're building strong so far. So I'll leave it off to Brett.
All right. My name's Brett Mann. I'm currently a fragger for the Mud Dogs PUBG team, and I'm also Jacob said I'm the COO, but he literally does all the work here. I'm the COO of Mud Dogs, though. You can find me on Discord if you'd like to send me any direct messages about anything PUBG related or Mud Dogs. I can try to answer. But at Red Rider, and the little number thing is like number 0410. But yeah.
Sick. What's up, guys? My name's Matt. Matt Jacobs. I am 23 years old, and I am from West Virginia. My full-time job, I am a youth pastor. I work at a church here, and I love my job. I love my students. But what I get to do on the side, I get to be the CEO of Mud Dog Esports, which actually some exciting news, which has just been unveiled to all of our staff team. We've been working a lot in preparation here recently for this. We're officially filing for a company. So I get to be I get to have the awesome title of being the CEO of Mud Dog Esports, the owner and founder. So Yeah, that's a
Hey,
little bit about me.
Jacobs.
Yeah, what's up?
Conan said there is frame loss, by the way.
Frame loss. There ain't no such thing as frame loss. You get your idea out of here. There's no frame loss in this place. Britt, go ahead.
Yeah, guys. What's up, guys and gals? I'm your unqualified host of the Mud Dog Esports Podcast, and it's my pleasure to be here today, seriously. My name is Britton Kennedy, like the country and the dead president, also known as B. Ken on Discord, and I hail from the greatest state of Texas. So I think with the pleasantries over, let's begin our show.
I will acknowledge the fact that, before we go to this intermission, I will acknowledge the fact that we do have a minor bit of buffering. So as we go into intermission, I'm going to make some adjustments to the stream, and hopefully it does not change any of the quality on y'all's behalf. But anyways, let's get to the stream.
Shh. What is a better way to start off the official Mud Dogs podcast other than reviewing where we come from? For this, we will allow the Mud Dog Esports CEO, Matt Jacobs, to shed some light on this kind of new organization. So, Matt, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. The Mud Dog Esports, really just the entire idea behind it. We started off as a PUBG team. Our PUBG team, actually, three people on my roster have actually been playing together since back in February, early February, I would say. We played as another team under the name TK, and we played under the TK name for about 3 solid months, competing in multiple scrimmages throughout those months and working together as a team. But throughout some unfortunate circumstances, we actually ended up going a separate way from TK. And in that separation from TK, we actually ended up taking a step towards remaining a full roster, a semi-full roster, and just rebranding. And that's where the Mud Dogs came in. The Mud Dog Esports organization was officially established on May 4th of 2020. And like I said, we were initially just launched as a PUBG team. Like any small organization, though, I think I can attest this for every organization. Everybody wants to be something big. Like whenever you start off this dream, I know Brendan, who has his own company. Like we all want to get to this greater place, this higher elevation than where we initially exist from. So we want to grow, obviously. But with that, there's like these ideas. Like you want to get these sponsored from HyperX, Monster Energy, G Fuel, Nvidia Game. Like you want Intel Game. Like you want all these amazing sponsors to come pouring in and people to be begging to like give you money, and you have to like turn money down. Like that's what you want. And like you want to have these titles across all these separate platforms. But in all of this, like in all these great dreams and on the establishment of Mud Dog Esports, we had no like. I'm gonna be honest with you, like. I was, Britt's calling himself the unqualified host of this podcast. Like, I was the unqualified CEO of an esports organization. I had no idea what went into it. Really, the back end of the organization, how things function. But thank goodness I have guys like these four right here, that you guys are seeing today. Thank goodness I have these guys because they really helped me understand a little bit more about areas that we can grow, areas that we can improve in. But since the creation of Mud Dog Esports, we have, as you can see, established this wonderful staff team. Britt, Brendan, Brett. Wow, that's awesome. BBB. Britt, Brendan, and Brett. They all help me with separate things, and my girlfriend actually helped me with our social media coordination. But, I mean, with the creation, we've slowly begun this progression of becoming Mud Dog Esports, right? Brett will know this better than anybody. We showed up on the scene of PCS2 and nobody knew who we were. We had nobody, I mean, we were just these quote unquote Mud Dogs walking around the map, and every time they used to be like, the Mud Dogs are doing this, and like nobody who knew who we were. And so we've definitely had to grow a little bit and establish our reputation. Obviously in the PCS, or in PCS2, PCS1 was where we showed up and nobody knew who we were. PCS2, unfortunately, things didn't go the way we wanted them to go, so we have a bit of a reputation to reestablish. But, we have seen extreme explosion on our social media. In less than 2 weeks, we went from 26 followers on our Twitter page to now we are sitting, I believe, at 95. I mean, we have our social media has absolutely exploded. And that's always encouraging. We went from one competitive team where we were just competing with PUBG to now the fact that we are competing with 3 competitive titles. We have our PUBG team, We have our Valorant team, and then our iRacing team, which we'll give you a little bit of an update on each one of those later on. But we've grown our titles a little bit. Now, obviously, there's still new titles that we would like to expand into and grow and adapt, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But there's been this obvious growth in the org. I know a lot of you have made mention of our Discord. I've had actually quite a few DMs about the reworking of our Discord, some good, some bad things people do and don't like about it. But if you have been here since the beginning of our Discord, you are fully aware of the fact that that thing has been completely reworked. The inside, the outside, the permissions, the roles, the channel, everything about that Discord has been reworked, and we're still working to this day to attempt to make it better, make it better for the community, better for the staff, better for the players, because really the number one thing that we strive for here is to be efficient and to be effective. But, you know, as we've made these extreme leaps and bounds, it gives us moments like today where we can sit back and have conversations with our staff team and look at where we've come from.
Yeah, well said, Matt. Before we move forward, I got to ask, man, where'd the name Mud Dogs come from?
So actually, whenever we went through our separation with TK, the separation from TK and the establishment of Mud Dogs all had a turnaround of about 24 hours. And so whenever we actually went our separate way, it was obviously myself and then my 3 PUBG guys who we were kind of talking about rebranding. And I said, we got some names. I said, here's some names. I said, I got Mud Dogs, I got High Voltage, and I want to say the other one was like Invincible or something. I don't know. Red would know better than I would probably.
It started with an I.
It started with an I. But we had these 3 names, and honestly, I'm going to be very honest with you. I was bought into High Voltage. Like, High Voltage, I was committed to. I was already actually designing a High Voltage logo.
Really?
But then we all had, like, this small team meeting about who we were going to be, and somehow the Mud Dogs is what we stumbled upon, which obviously I love the name. But I was literally in the middle of creating a High Voltage logo when we decided on the Mud Dogs. So I was kind of like a little bit ahead of myself, but here we are with the Mud Dogs, and I honestly could not be happier with our branding. I mean, just a shout out to one of our partners, Shan Chan. Shan has done an amazing job. The Mud Dog logo that you guys saw at the starting soon, and you'll see it again at the ending screen, that logo and all that stuff was reworked, or actually not reworked. It was just completely made by Shan Chan. She does amazing graphical work. If you guys are looking for somebody to do Twitch emotes for you, she is the person to contact. I promise you, she will not let you down on the emotes that she puts out. But anyways, she kind of went through this whole rebranding thing with us, and that was how we are who we are today. That's how we're the Mud Dogs now.
Awesome. Yeah. Shan Chan does great work. I absolutely love the logo. Of course, wearing it on my head, so it's red.
Yep.
It's over here somewhere.
Yeah, and we're gonna be talking about some of those emotes later on. We're doing a giveaway, so make sure to stay tuned to the end of the podcast because we're actually giving away over $100 worth, or about $100 worth of emotes. So stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and move forward. You know, some of the greatest companies ever, you know, started from real humble beginnings. And, you know, I think of like, you know, everybody's heard the story of Lamborghini, you know, 2 guys in a garage making tractors, and then look at them now. You know, Apple, Walt Disney, Harley Davidson. Those are just a few examples of just maybe 1, 2, 4 individuals with just a seed, a great idea, and they turned it into something larger and greater than they could have ever imagined, you know? So we here at Mud Dogs Esports have large dreams, and we also have humble beginnings. And every day we're striving, and we strive to grow and shape this community, this Discord, into something really huge, you know, like Walt Disney or Lamborghini someday.
Amen.
Yeah. But, you know, for now, why don't we talk about where we are today, you know? So to address that, why don't we break it down each team individually?
Yeah.
So I think let's start off where it all began. Let's start off with PUBG. Red?
Yeah, I'm about to say we basically started, or as far back as I can remember, is that I was looking for a team and happened upon Jacobs, and previously the owner of TK was Stavi. I forget, did we have a 4th at that time when I joined?
No.
Okay.
Just 3.
And so, yeah. And then I think the next person we picked up was Bullet.
Yeah, it was.
And so that's kind of how just the 3 of us there got started. But from there, after we decided to move on from TK, So Jacobs eventually left TK before we did. I think he wanted to take a little break from the competitive scene, but still help out with the team overall. And we started doing some tryouts. I think that's when we got Karma in.
Yep.
Okay, so it was you, Bullet, and Karma, and then Jacobs had already been a player, but he kind of moved a little a ways
Yeah.
towards kind of administration, or you know.
I took a step back to do more of a coaching role than be an active player.
Okay,
Which
so
he has been great at.
Yeah, so you, Bullet, and Karma are just kind of, you guys click together real fast.
Yeah, it all came together really quickly, and I mean, for me back then as a new competitive player, that was actually really cool to see. But and then from there, we made Mud Dogs, and then performed in PCS 1 and did great for our very first competitive showing. We made it to round of 16, which was super exciting. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what is that? The very very first competition under the new rebranding and stuff, and you made it to round of 16 in PCS 1.
Yep.
That's a way to kick off something.
Now, we don't want to talk about PCS 2, but yeah, we did phenomenal PCS 2.
Yeah, we can skip over PCS 2. Yeah, but I'm excited to see how we do in PCS 3.
For sure.
I'm just saying a lot of teams better watch out because 1, we're mad because of PCS 2, and 2, we're ready to prove ourselves. So sure. I'm excited.
For sure.
That's good. Yeah, you if you want anything in life, you got to be hungry for it. And
yeah.
It sounds like the dogs are ready to eat. You know.
Oh yeah.
We are.
Oh yeah.
We are looking for a feast.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, it all started with PUBG, and then of course we wanted to expand to different platforms. I know Matt was. I think eventually, Matt, you know, anything that's competitive or anything, you know, we'd like to have a team for.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next thing that I think came about was Valorant, and I hadn't really heard of that game or anything, and I just remember it happening so fast.
Yeah.
And it was fast, right? So I think the person to speak on this would be Brendan Beeman, the team coach and manager of he's the manager of the team. So Brendan, how did that all begin, you know? Where you guys are today?
Yeah, so we began, I know me and Matt played PUBG together throughout college. We are both in part of the collegiate scene. I was the captain and he was like the head of the program. And so so he was like more of like the coach and the manager, and then I was more of the captain of the team. And so that's how me and Matt really met through esports. And when I found out that he was creating his own esports org, obviously I wanted to be a part of it and support it. And even though I couldn't do that through PUBG, and then after PUBG iRacing came, I knew that he wanted to expand. He explained that to me, talking about how he wanted to expand into other games and grow the competitive scene and aspect of Mud Dog Esports. And that's something that I was able to help him with. I said, hey, you know, I have connections in CSGO, I have connections in League of Legends, I have connections in Valorant. If you want a pro scene in any of those games, I can certainly help build it out for you. And then the least, run your tryouts, get you a team, and we can get you started from there, which he was all about. I mean, he is hungry to grow, and he is hungry to develop Mud Dogs as a organization, which is why it has become an LLC in under a year now, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So that's how it really started, is him coming to me and verbalizing, hey, I want to expand. And then I had the connections afterwards to start getting things set up.
So I'm going to kind of jump around a bit, Brendan, and I'm going to come back to you, Red. But Brendan, how did you recruit your players?
Yeah, so the way that we recruited players for this was pretty much 3 different methods. Okay. We did the first one using just recruiting websites. The most formal, and the one that we used the most, was called Seek Team. It was very helpful. It's very helpful for a lot of games, but in this case, we used it specifically for Valorant. We were able to not only post a recruiting board where we can tell them, if you meet these qualifications, shoot me a message, and then we can further qualify you for the tryout. And then another one, we actively went out and seeked players out on the website to see if they were pre-qualified, and then we could get them in. The second one was through recruiting through Twitch, actually. So I would go through, I would type in keywords like Radiant, Immortal, competitive, something like that. And I would see players that were open agents and competing at like a very high level of the game, where I could watch them, see if I like the way they communicate, the way that they play, who they're playing, can they meet the demographic of what Mud Dogs is? Like one thing is that we are a primarily English-speaking teams, and I saw phenomenal players. But again, if they couldn't speak English, there's going to be a big part of a communication barrier there. And in a game like Valorant, that's crucial. So we had to go through a little bit of a vetting process, making sure that we could fit our demographics and how we wanted to grow the org. And then after that, the third part was just word of mouth, just having connections in the industry. And we actually got like one or two of our players, maybe even three of them, from connections in the industry, already knowing, hey, either I know people or people that I know people who are looking to get into this scene. And they are able to play at a top level because they have played at the top level in other games as well.
Wow, that you can't beat word of mouth. That's it's just something to say about that. How many guys showed up in total from all three of those different places? Like,
Yeah, we had a large tryout, so I think we were expecting to have around 15 at most, and we ended up having over 30.
Yeah.
So we were double what we were ready for. And after 30, we had to just start telling people, I'm sorry, there's too many. If they were like an overqualified person, then we would let them come in. If someone's Radiant or High Immortal 3 and they have pro experience already, we're not going to show them the door. But if there were people that were just like borderline, like platinum or low diamond, and they're coming in late, that is one of the things that we are very, very strict on, is just being on time and being prepared. And so for those players who, came in after 30, we just didn't have room for them. And I think that is, that's the main answer of the question. Is we had 30 people trying out, and we had over 30 people trying to try out. I think realistically, we had to probably show at least 10 to 20 more people the door before we even started tryouts. So probably in all, 30 to 50.
And so the Valorant team has got 6 main roster players and then 2 subs, correct?
So we have 5 main roster players and 2 subs for the time.
Okay, so you over 30 people trying out. How do you pick? I know it's going to be razor thin, those margins of like who's a sub, who's a roster player.
Literally,
those were some difficult decisions, right?
Yeah, definitely. And Matt was a part of this process, so he knows. But yeah.
Yeah.
We were literally to make some of the final selections. We had a chart. We were trying to break down like how good are they at this and this and this and this and this, and we had broken down really who our top 5 were pretty quickly. But we had to make some decisions on who were going to be our subs, and that was breaking down from 30 to 15. Like that was kind of hard, but there was some that you were easily like, just not right now. Like right now, you're just not at the level to be here. But once you get down into the top 15, these are some of the top guys that these, if they're not playing for us, and if any of our previous charts are watching this, if you are not playing for us, you should go try out for somebody else, because I guarantee you will make a team. Like when we had to cut it from 15 to 7, that was an absolute nail biter. We literally were sitting there, we were trying to break down like numbers, like, okay, he was good at this, but he wasn't, and like we were like giving like people like numerical values to try and like weigh out the benefits and the pros and cons of one over the other. So it was stressful, to say the least.
Yeah, and to add on that, we had it's much like Matt said, we had a numerical chart where we numbered people and their skills 1 through 10, and I believe we had 10 different criteria for where they were being judged. So this was anything from aim to game sense to map awareness to communication. You name it, we had a criteria for it. And after that last set of tryouts, I think we went an hour over because we were just like, we don't know. We need to look at this more.
Can you guys give us one more round?
Yeah, people were just like, come on, like, let's just play another game. And everyone in the lobbies were like, we want to play another game. We want to have another round at this. They were so passionate about it, which is awesome.
Awesome.
But at the end of the day, we probably spent an extra 3 or 4 hours after the tryout ended, and after we thought we already had our list, to revise this, to talk it, to debate it. And once we got like from 15 to 10, we're like, that wasn't so bad. And then going from 10 to 7 was brutal. And we sat there just like debating and charting and renumbering people and reassessing VODs and skills. And it was a really, really hard process. But at the end of the day, we have a great team that we're at now. I mean, we have everything. I think at the beginning, we had everything from Radiant to Immortals. We had a couple high diamonds. And, now the whole team's pretty much sitting at Immortal level, which is really good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It's it sucks to make those decisions and stuff, but that's a good problem to have. How has the team done so far, Brendan?
Yeah, so the team has done phenomenal so far. We have been doing a couple weeks of practices and a lot of one-on-one sessions just to transition the guys from being at a very high ranking and a very high elo in the game to a competitive scene of the game. Because I think anyone can acknowledge that there's a difference between being the highest rank in the game and being a pro in the game. And that's kind of where we're trying to merge the team right now, is to go from that high ranking in the game to going to that pro level of the game. Because once you get to a pro level, it's a whole other story. I mean, there are strategies and counterplay, and communication is so essential when doing this. You have to trust that the 1 to 2 guys that are following you into a site are going to have your back, and it becomes a lot more strategic. So we have done a couple of scrims already. We just lost our first scrim out of like 5, I think. So we're sitting at somewhere near like an 80% win rate for the time being, which is really, really good, really, really strong. And the way that the one-on-ones have worked so well is just because I am able to, as someone who has been in the pro scene and a very high-ranked player, I was a Supreme in CSGO for most of my career. I was able to do private coaching there. I played for some tier 3 pro teams. Same sort of thing. Played collegiate PUBG at the top level, and even did Overwatch at the top level. So being able to go in there and show some of these guys who have a little bit less experience in the scenes like this, some little tips and tricks as to how they can improve, has done wonders for them. After one-on-one sessions, I just did one last night with one of our players, Frags, and he did this. He didn't really play CSGO, and Valorant is very similar to CSGO in the way that the gunplay and mechanics are and rotates and things like that. I went through him, and he acknowledged that, and he admitted that. He's like, I want you to start teaching me some of this game knowledge stuff. I went through for probably 2 hours with him in a one-on-one session. I coached him. I said, this is what you need to improve on. This is what you need to change. This is what you need to do instead of X, Y, and Z. And then the very next game, he went on to drop 41 kills in a Valorant game, in a Valorant ranked game on Immortal, which is ridiculous. And he shot me a message afterwards. And he's like, thank you so much. I just got into my first ranked game of Immortal, and I just dropped 41 kills, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's really good. And the results are there. And I think above all else, the skill is there for the players. And what we're focusing on right now is just maturing them through this process to, again, transition to high-level ELO play to this competitive play.
Okay. One more question for you, Brendan, about the Valorant team. Is there anything that the community or anybody watching, do you have any like tidbits or anything you're looking forward to or you want them to know? Just kind of anything at all?
Yeah, so we're getting ready for our first tournament coming up, I think, next weekend. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a $10,000 tournament. And that's the number one thing that we're looking forward to.
Dude, that I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to definitely have to watch the streams on that. And I cannot wait. I mean, when you say $10,000, my ears just shoot out of this mic.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to see what that has in the future. I kind of want to backtrack here and go back to you, Red. I want to hear a little bit more about the PUBG team. So I know that you, Karma, and Bullet have been working together, and can you kind of break down? I know it might be a touchy subject, but let's talk about PCS2. Going from there. And then moving forward, what's some things that you guys maybe are looking to change or to do differently, or has it changed naturally, or are you guys purposely trying to do something different?
So the two main things that I know that I definitely want to see us working on, and we have been working on more, is one, crashing other teams when they have one of the best compounds in the circle, especially late game. Crashing another team and being able to take that fight and secure that location, it's definitely something we really need to work on a lot. And the second thing is, after crashing and winning that, also winning the crash that happens onto us immediately after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we'll crash a compound, we'll take that fight, we'll win. Another team will be like, "Oh, hey, they were just fighting. Let's crash them because they're gonna be just kind of like now recuperating from a fight. So maybe we can have the advantage." And those are the two main things that we have been working on. Even last night in scrims, we had a rough crash. Like I think it was the last game.
Yeah.
But last night in scrims was really, really good. We ended in second place. We had 2 wins. So we are definitely making a lot of forward progress, which I'm really liking.
Yeah.
Forward progress is the best
Yep.
kind of progress. So, you know what I mean? That's really exciting to hear. I can't wait for PCS 3. And Red, I'm going to kind of pose the same question to you that I gave to Brendan. Is there any kind of sneak peeks, some tidbits, anything you want the community or people watching to know about the future of the PUBG team?
Well, I made I made a little tweet a couple of days ago at PUBG saying that in the upcoming tournaments, they should be looking at the pro tier competitive matches, the group stages. They should be looking for Mud Dogs in top 5 soon, because I mean,
Yes.
we're still looking for a 4th player right now. We're looking for either an IGL or a fragger.
Well, after last
But-
night.
Yeah, last night we may be making one of our current members IGL. Just we'll push him into that position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just throw them in.
Yeah, but no. After we get our 4th player, I'm really excited for what we can do, because once we're a strong 4, I believe is when we'll really start showing up. Because right now we're 3. We're using subs. We're looking for our 4th. But once we're a strong 4th is when I'm very confident we're gonna start putting our name even further out there. So
if Shroud or Dr. Disrespect is watching, we're looking for a 4th. Just saying. So anybody watching, remember that. Okay, so we've talked about the Valorant team and the PUBG team. We do have a 3rd team on the Mud Dog Esports right now, and it's been kind of in the works. And definitely the person to talk to you about this would be Matt.
Yeah.
So that would be iRacing. So Matt, just give us the whole rundown on iRacing. Where's the team at right now? What are you looking for? Just take it away.
So yeah, a lot of orgs have never even heard of iRacing. If you talk to, I honestly, the only, and it's not even orgs. Like there's not even esports orgs that have iRacing teams. A lot of times, racers who are sponsored by like actual like car companies like HRE Motorsports or Hendrick Motorsports or William Byron Racing or DuPont Racing. Like the drivers who race at the highest levels of this game are actually sponsored by actual like auto industry like they're actual companies. Like they're fully for like they're the kind like the drivers in iRacing who are sponsored by companies that you see on the side of like NASCARs. Like that's the bottom line. And so what I'm attempting to do here is get the Mud Dogs into the esports side of it so that we can start grabbing these sponsors. And by us putting our name out there, and this is my strategy with this, is that by us putting our name in a scene that is so highly developed by fully fledged companies, by us putting our name out there, if we can reach that high tier stage, suddenly the Mud Dogs would be open to sponsorships from these from these larger organizations, because now they recognize that we're somebody to be reckoned with, right? Our drivers are competent and efficient and well earning drivers, and they do their job in the races. As far as how the team is doing, we currently have one one racer who is an officially signed racer. He is a dirt track racer. His name is Slacker313, and I've watched Slacker race a few times. Slacker is a heck of a driver, and I would dare never race against him or attempt to say that I was anywhere near as good as him. Anybody who has watched my iRacing streams knows that I am as good as a 3-year-old in a little tricycle. Like, one pass is a good pass, and the next pass I'm in the wall and in the pits. It's an in or an out. There's not like a real good consistency there for me. But our drivers, Slacker is our first official driver, and he's actually done a good job. Really, what he does for us is not only does he race, but he also helps build wraps for our vehicles. If any of you are in our Mud Dog Esports Discord, you can actually scroll up through the announcements at the very top of the Discord. There's announcements. If you scroll up through this, you will actually see some wraps that myself and Slacker have worked on together. He's done a phenomenal job with helping me on that side of stuff. We're still looking to grow and add more racers. We have another racer. His name is What If. I actually got the pleasure of watching him, I believe 2 weeks ago now, do his first official race for his tryout. And I want to say he went from P9, I want to say is where he started, up to like P2. He raced a heck of a race. He did a phenomenal job. One guy got PO'd at him because, look, whether it's netcode or rubbing, like, I don't know, but there may have been involved in the race. Somebody may have clipped somebody's corner, and we may have been the somebody on the back end of that who may or may not have clipped somebody's corner. But look, Rubbin's racing, man. Rubbin's racing. And I'm a fan of it, so I'm not going to get mad at my driver for putting himself from P9 to P2. I'll take P2 all day.
So Slacker is a dirt racer.
Slacker's a dirt racer, yeah. And my tryout currently, What If, he is a asphalt oval. So he does the NASCAR, the truck series, your open modified series, stuff like that.
Nice. I love both of those, but definitely don't race Slacker on dirt, it sounds like, because he's something to be reckoned with.
I'm just happy we got to pick him up and nobody else has. That's where I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, and the wraps, I just took a look at them. They look freaking sick. So thumbs up to that. I love it. So moving forward a little bit, what do you eventually, you just want to flesh out the whole iRacing team and kind of have...
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with iRacing, there is your asphalt track, which is going to be your Indy type races, your Formula 1 type races, your rally type races. Those are going to be your track races for asphalt. Then you've got your asphalt oval, which, like I mentioned a while ago, is going to be your NASCAR series, your truck series, your open modified series. Then you've got your dirt track, which is a crossbreed. It's a hybrid between your rally cross series. Is going to be your dirt track. And then you've also got your dirt oval, which is going to be your sprint cars and your late model, super late model type vehicles. And really what I'm looking to do is get 3 drivers in each licensing class. So I want 3 asphalt track, 3 asphalt oval, 3 dirt track, 3 dirt oval. I want a total of 12 drivers on our iRacing team. And I believe, in my opinion, what that does is it gives us a large opportunity because there are iRacing races happening every day. There are official races happening every day. And by us having multiple drivers in each category, the desire would be that we would have somebody able to compete every day in those races, continuing to push and to further the Mud Dog name and to get better PR and to put ourselves out there with these teams they've been there longer, they're more established than us, but we want to put ourselves out there and be just as established as they are within a year. And so really the goal with this iRacing team, what we're looking to do is grab more drivers, get more of that community, pull them into the Mud Dogs, give them some love like we do at the Mud Dogs, and then send them back out and make sure they're racing to the best of their ability.
Yeah, so everybody listening, Dale Earnhardt, Lewis Hamilton, you guys out there, we're looking for drivers. So I like that.
Yeah, and Brendan, to answer your question, yes. Just so you guys know, Brendan does have IRL obligations and is not able to afford his time all to us today, which we know he loves us, but he's got to go. So, Brendan, yeah, you're good to go, man. Thank you for staying around.
Thank you, Brendan Beeman.
Thanks for your portion of the content.
Nice to meet all of you today.
It's nice to meet all of you.
See you, Brendan. All right. Then there was 3. Let's move forward a little bit. I like this quote. Don't forget where you came from and never take your eyes off of where you're heading. And I don't know who said that. We don't fact check around here. So am I right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it has anything to do with crashing Millie Base, and you better believe we're fact checking. It goes back to me.
Yeah. Check those VODs. Yeah. Okay, maybe one of you keyboard warriors out there can look that up and see who really said that first. But yeah, let's move forward a little bit. Quite literally, let's take a look at the horizon, because put your sunshades on. It's going to be bright. Oh, who wrote that? Oh man, that's awful. I wrote that. Okay, Matt, just go ahead, man. What's for the future for the Mud Dogs organization?
I was looking for my shades. I couldn't
he's
find
got
them.
sunshade.
I got my blue light
man.
glasses on, so maybe they'll protect my eyes from reading the screen. So yeah, the projected future of the Mud Dogs, it remains the same today as it was back at the beginning of Mud Dogs. Like I stated earlier, whenever we started off as an org, really the dream was to become one of the biggest, one of the largest, one of the most competitive, one of the most successful Tier 1 esports orgs in North America. We want to have teams competing across all types of titles. The projected future, what we're looking at, we want to launch a stream team. So for those of you who are looking to be a part of a community that helps promote your content and push you and make you and help grow your community, the Mud Dogs are planning on launching a stream team. The Mud Dogs are planning on launching a Rocket League team, a CS:GO team, a League of Legends team, a Dota team, maybe a Rainbow Six team. That's something that I'm kind of juggling right now if we would go in that direction. But the desire is that we would not be complacent in what we've already achieved. Okay, here's where I'm at with this is I want to take what we have and make it the best that's possible. But then not just stay in that category, but then make other categories the best thing that we can make it. Like about a week ago, I started on making our Discord the best I could possibly make our Discord to be. I started restructuring, reorganizing, reworking permissions, reworking channels, reworking the layout, reworking the structure, adding channels that didn't exist, removing channels that weren't purposeful. And so the idea is that once we make our Discord a more solidified structure of this organization, then really what that is, it's one of the most effective points of our community because that is our direct impact, our direct connection to the community. And so what it means is whenever we have our Discord solidified, we have our community outreach solidified, if that makes sense. Like it's a very minor adjustment, and I know a lot of people do and don't like the adjustments that we're making, but these adjustments that we're making help solidify a stronger community connection to our Discord community in the future, and that's why we've made these adjustments. And so really what we're trying to do is I'm going to take the 3 teams that we've got right now, and I want to work them out. I want to fully flesh them. I want to get each one of our current 3 teams to an existing Tier 1 platform. I want our PUBG team to be competing in the PCS 4 group stages. I want the PCS 3 group stages. My apologies, Red. Our PCS 3 group stages. I want our Valorant team to be competing for some of the top tier prizes. I want our players to be so good, and I want them to be so confident, and I want them to know most importantly, that we stand behind them and that we want to help elevate them and we want to help push their individual and their personal platforms and we want to help them become better players on the game. We want to help them become better people in public. We want to help them grow. Right? This whole organization is far more about is far bigger than just video games. We are not here to just help people get good at games. We're here to help people, yes, increase in game sense, increase in gun skill, increase in driving skill, for our Irish. Increase in driving skill, but then also help form and mold the person as an individual, right? If we've got somebody who's struggling with whether it be time management or priorities or there's a large list of things that people have to work through, but our goal is not to just say, we will work with you. And that's already been established in our Valorant team. We have people who have struggled in other areas with commitment. And it's like, look, we will work with you. We are not here to just dish you off and run you. We will work with you. And we want to help grow you as a person. But obviously we want to continue to grow our staff team. The projected future is to get a staff team, to get to help all of our players get larger personal platforms. That way that they can help increase their personal revenues. Our goal is to obviously increase our Twitter, increase our Instagram influence. It's that marketing quote unquote term, your sphere of influence, the SOI. It's what if you go to a sponsor, they're going to say, okay, well, what's your SOI? That SOI, that Twitter, that Instagram, the Discord, that is the stuff that we want to absolutely erupt and explode and grow. And that comes through the diligence of reworking a Discord. That comes through the diligence of building graphics late into the night. That way we can post a sick graphic early in the morning. That it's just the small subtle things that so often don't go seen, but on the back end, it's paving the way for a very, very, very bright future.
Right, and I would just like to add that, it's like you said, it's far more than just playing video games or getting good at video games or maybe even winning money to play video games. It's from speaking from experience, this community is really supportive, and it's in all honesty, it's just friendship, a brotherhood, and it's and I speak from my personal experience on that. So, I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah. No.
Well, it seems my script is kind of lacking. I ran out of quotes, guys. Sorry.
Good to hear, Dad.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, every dream needs some stepping stones, a roadmap, a Schlieffen plan, if you will. That probably wasn't the best example for you history buffs out there. My apologies. Yeah, you guys know what the Schlieffen plan is, right? No. Okay. Yeah. Don't look it up. It's all good. Matt or Red, I'd like both of your guys' inputs on this. What are some personal goals, or what is the generic roadmap for the Mud Dogs to achieve those things that you just spoke about? Well, let's start with some short-term goals, and then we'll talk about kind of long-term. So,
Yeah.
ahead.
So yeah, if we wanted to start with like our short-term goals, I know that in Red you can add to any of these that you'd like. As far as short-term, I'd consider anything within 5 years. I know you might be thinking like 5 years isn't short-term. But for the esports community and how rapidly it is continually developing and adjusting and growing, to say that you're going to have a goal in a year, the platform might look completely different. And so really to say you have a short-term goal, it's going to have a little bit of time on it, that way that you can make sure that you are able to adapt and adjust and grow with however the leagues are adjusting and growing. But just for the org in and of itself, some of our short-term goals would be reach 1,000 followers on our Twitter, reach 500 followers on our Instagram, establish more relationships with other esports organizations. Right now, as Red knows, we have the opportunity to get to work, not extremely close, but we have relationships with Rise Esports, which if any of you guys don't know them, War, Shirky, those guys play phenomenal PUBG games. They made it to the round of 32, and if I'm not mistaken, did they make it to the 16, Red?
I don't remember.
I don't remember,
actually,
but I do know that they smoked our butt twice in the round of 64.
Yes, they did.
And we have the opportunity of have relationships with a relationship of them, but we would like to establish more relationships. Establish relationships with organizations like 303. Establish relationships with people like Carnage Gaming. Establish relationships with teams like Elusive. These are the types of relationships that we want to grow and develop, because we know this. Like I know this as a CEO. I do not know everything about esports. I don't know everything about promotions. I don't know everything about marketing. I don't know everything about sales and analytics. And so what we want to do is we want to be absorbent of these other teams and these other organizations around us who do know how to make that stuff and how to make it successful and how it works on a day-to-day basis. And those are the type of people that we want to surround ourselves with. I'm a very firm believer that it's not about what you know, but it's about who you surround yourself with. You can know nothing, but if you surround yourself with people full of wisdom, then they will pour into you, and suddenly you may not know everything that they know, but you will start to learn and to grow and to learn new things. And so establishing more relationships would be something I look forward to. Growing our Discord community to 5,000 members. I would love to see a Discord community where every morning I log on and the general channel is just popping. And there's people communicating, and there's people in our community hanging out in the public channels, right? They don't just have to be a player or have to be somebody on staff to be in the public channel, but really our public would feel welcome to be in the public channels. That our Discord would go to 5,000, and that we would reach out and establish more relationships with sponsors and partners. We already have some amazing sponsors and partners, but that we would reach out and establish more of those relationships. So we love the relationships that we already have, and that's why we're excited to have more of those. We love who we already get to know. And then eventually is not the word. Eventually, we would like to establish academy teams. I know that, and Red's very familiar with this. Whenever we used to play back under the TK name, the team has started to grow in a direction where we were competent and high-level shooters, and we wanted to help assist other players. And whether that's in our Valorant team, whether it's in our PUBG team, our Dota, Rocket League, CSGO, R6, iRacing, whatever, League of Legends, whatever platform that might look like, we want to establish academy teams so that our coaches can help these newer players, these younger players, these less experienced players who have extreme amounts of potential. We want to help harness that inner potential and then make it a reality for these younger players and help them grow. And that would come through the form of establishing academy teams. But these are all things that within the next 5 years I would like to see established across our platform so that we can be a more self-sufficient organization, essentially.
I like that. Yeah. Well said. Red, do you have anything to add on that?
Yes, but before I do, I did see a comment on the stream that said, "Who out of the three of us would win in a fight to the death with no weapons?" Kind of curious what y'all think.
Me.
You?
I'm gonna say me.
Britt, don't
I
make.
feel like if I say me, that would just be. I think I need to pick one of you two, but I don't know which one I would pick.
I'm in.
Oh, that's a tough time.
I'm in. Red, I would
I
not
don't
let you
know.
down. Look, I beat this kid up so much. I used to pick on this kid all the time in 6th grade.
Don't listen
Which-
to him.
hey,
He would
would
pick
you-
on me,
Red,
but I
I'm
would finish it.
I was gonna say, with you picking on him, I feel like I should pick Britt.
See, I'm like
'Cause he's
6'2",
mad
and
now.
Britt's like 5'11". I've got the leverage on him.
He's taller now, but like I said, he would pick on me, but I would finish it.
Oh, would you? Would you?
We'll have to take a poll on that, I think, or something.
We'll have to meet up sometime and just do a VOD, a vlog.
LAN event?
And in fact, that
Fight in the
fact
middle
that-
of a LAN event.
the fact that Red said it wasn't going to be him kind of makes me worried, because usually it's the humble, quiet
It's
guys.
the
that can
quiet
really
ones
kick-
you got to worry about.
Yeah, they can really kick butt sometimes.
No comment.
No comment. Red's got like a
but-
black belt.
No, it's brown actually. But speaking of like, if our definition of short term is at least up to 5 years, then I 100% plan for us to be basically today's STK.
Yeah.
That within 5 years, I expect it to be shorter than 5 years, of course.
Please.
But that is personally being a player on the PUBG team. That is my short-term goal, is to be today's STK.
Yeah, I think some of those short-term goals, like 1,000 followers on Twitter, 500 on Instagram, and then the 5,000 people in our Discord server, I think those are achievable in a lot less than 5 years. You know, so for sure. But those 5 years to me is, I don't know, that's pretty long short term. But
married.
let's talk about, if those are short term goals, what are some long term goals, Matt, for the Mud Dog Esports organization?
So some of our long-term goals would be to establish tier 1 teams across the largest esports titles. That we wouldn't just be
So not PUBG.
Shut up, Brett. That we wouldn't just be competing like our Valorant team's playing in a $10,000 unknown tournament this upcoming week. And so it's not that we would be in these unknown tournaments, it's that we'd be competing in the largest esport titles at the highest level. And that's not just for our existing teams, that's for all of our teams. That we would have a platform and an ability to draft and recruit the highest players and help pay them, hopefully, eventually. That we would be able to recruit these high level players to have higher tier teams. A dream of mine that I would like to come true far sooner than later is to become a fully sufficient, self-sufficient, become completely, holistically, fully self-sufficient financially. That we would be self-sufficient financially, that we'd be able to offer our players salaries, that we would be able to offer our staff salaries, that we'd be able to reimburse this for the time they put into this team, and that it would stop coming out of personal incomes. Really is that we would be able to offer some sort of salary to our players and to our staff.
I think you got one of those words right.
Yeah, I think so.
Holistically, fully. So one of those was on the money.
Sounds good.
One of them.
Another goal I have for us is, and this is like a big one. Like this is like, I'm throwing a Hail Mary here. I would love to see us get a facility, a full-fledged gaming facility, an esports facility where all of our players come together, and they stay in team, maybe not in team houses, but the teams stay near each other, and then they come to work in a facility every day where they actually come in, they sit down, their coaches are there with them, they're working together, they're looking through stuff together. The coach can literally look over your shoulder and see what you're doing. And we can commit to that time to practice. And this really comes behind the idea of being able to offer salaries and being able to offer more self-sufficient contracts for our players, an actual professional salary for our players, that we would be able to then eventually offer them a facility where they can come and learn and grow together. Our content creators can work together and have ideas shared together. And then obviously the last one, my last long-term goal is to win global championships across all of our rosters. That each one of our rosters would experience a global championship, and be able to carry the Mud Dog name farther than I'd ever dreamed.
Yeah, it would be so cool to see to just win one of those championships, or
Yeah.
just to have the opportunity for that. And while I'm thinking about it, really wish those guys on the Valorant team good luck. 10 grand is nothing to laugh at, and so really hope that they do well and have a strong showing, and I hope that they win.
For sure.
Hey, speaking of global stuff, didn't PUBG just recently announce that they're working on more global competitions? I think that was in their notes when they announced PCS3.
They did, which is exciting that they haven't given up on us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that the new patch notes on Steam?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, that's good to hear, because it's still a thriving community. There's still a lot of people playing that game.
Also, another short-term goal, if Corona decides to ever go away, is to go to a LAN event.
Yes.
That would be awesome. Just the whole team there, just in the arena.
Yeah.
That
would be awesome. Dude, honestly,
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out whenever this whole virus thing ends, I'm gonna look at the next DreamHack PUBG, and anybody, I don't know how many people we even have watching right now. That's the last thing I'm worried about right now. But anybody who wants to meet Mud Dog Esports at a LAN, I'm going to be at the next DreamHack PUBG. Anybody who wants to meet me there, I'll be there. That's a ticket in. I'll split hotel rooms with somebody. We'll go halves on stuff, and we'll make this a lot cheaper for ourselves. But we have got to get in these LANs and experience the atmosphere and get ourselves ready for the day whenever we show up on scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we show up with our Mud Dogs hats, jerseys. I mean, people are going to know who we are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very soon.
Very soon.
That was all super exciting to talk about. I love talking about the future, and especially those big term goals, like having a facility where guys and gals can get together and just
We're all meeting up at Jacob's house. That's gonna be our current facility right now.
We're all going to Jacob's house.
Get over here, boys. I'll take each one of you.
Can you cook dinner too?
Dude, I make some slapping steaks. Oh my word. They've actually, all right, I've been living alone on my own for 8 months now, and month number 1 I burnt all my steaks, and month number 8, let me make this very clear, my steaks are juicy. They actually have seasoning on them now. They have char marks because I'm not burning them. You can actually see the char marks on them now. My asparagus are very good. My broccoli and cheddar mac and cheese are very good. I make some pretty nasty potatoes and my ranch style beans. So I can cook a team dinner if we need to.
Everybody give a round of applause to Jacobs and his cooking skills.
Yep.
I've been working hard. Thank you.
I can speak from experience. That man right there put a bowl of ramen in my microwave in 6th grade and forgot to put water in it, and it melted to the bottom of the microwave. So he has improved tremendously over the years. It's good to hear, Matthew.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm never gonna let you forget that, Matt.
Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna come out on the live stream.
The people have to know.
I guess so.
That was super exciting to talk about. But we have something even more exciting to talk about right now, and that's our giveaway that we're doing now today. Real quick before we get to that, I want to kind of mention and give a word of thanks to some of our sponsors that we have, and of course we're looking for more sponsors.
Hit us up.
I would like to shout out Rogue Energy, Sector 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, but what is it? North Towing Trucking out of Ontario, Canada.
North Country Towing.
North Country Towing out of Ontario, Canada. And Shan Chan. And we're going into our giveaway now. Shan Chan is a wonderful partner. She's the Mud Dogs Esports graphic artist. She made this logo that you're looking at. And out of the graciousness of her heart, she has offered to give away one of her stream emote packages valued at $100. This giveaway is the first of many that the Mud Dog Esports hopes to offer to our community and to you guys watching. And it's my pleasure to be able to have this opportunity to announce it. Let's not waste any more time. We have picked a winner of the $100 emote package. The winner of Shan Chan's stream emote package is, drum roll please, Lifu 303.
Lifu, we want to congratulate on this. I know that you have a lot of work with directly with 303 Esports. I believe you were the CEO of 303, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations. If you will hit me up in the DMs on Discord, Jacobs, JACOBS, $. What was my number sign? I got to scroll back up here to see what my number sign was. Number sign.
You did say it used to be
6480. 6482. If you'll hit me up in the DMs, I will get you in contact with Shan. Shan, we want to say a special thank you to you for your willingness to give away this emote package and help our community, or help us, reach out to our community. We truly appreciate your help. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Britt.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Lifu 303. You are the winner, and like I said, this is just our first of hopefully many giveaways that we can do for you guys out there watching. Sure. So make sure if you do want to win something for our next giveaway, definitely join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. That's definitely going to increase your chances. And we would highly encourage you to do that. Just if you like what you hear and if you want to support us, please follow us on all our platforms and definitely join us on our Discord server. We're really trying to grow that as much as we can. That's all I have for this episode. Red, Matt, any last comments or anything you guys want to add?
I was going to say, speaking of giveaways, I do remember when we were discussing this whole podcast stuff, you did mention that one of your short-term goals was to buy me. So I don't know if that meant put me as a giveaway or if you're going to buy me. But I mean, hey, if y'all see me at a giveaway, y'all better be retweeting and sharing because
I'm going to give you a grape. I'm going to give you a grape.
We're going to lease Red's soul and then we're going to give it to one of you guys. But it's only a lease. We have to give it back, because he's a good guy. We want to make sure, But this has been a lot of fun. It's been my pleasure to be the host of this podcast. I'm lucky to be joined by the CEO, Matt Jacobs, and Red Ryder, also known as Brett Mann. There's a lot of B's, so I prefer to call him Red, but Brett Mann. Our next podcast, our next live broadcast will be August 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and we hope to see everybody there. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks.
And have a great day, everyone. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all dogs were made to be muddy. That's all I got.
Amen.
There we go. All right, you guys have a great day. See y'all later, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Later.
Good night. Good morning.
Why did I say good night?
Had me looking through the archives. I seen a picture of you looking like a star shines, and you bright, like the lights on a fight night. Love hit me like a mic. You know I'ma get it right. So stay.